So yeah, it's definitely the drive. And
That's crazy.
with I don't know if you looked at the weather this week. It's supposed to be the lowest. I think it was like 92, and Friday's supposed to be 100. So make sure we hydrating. Make sure what I'm saying, you ducking them sun rays, and make sure you checking into the Saturday Showdown, the second hottest thing other than the weather. Welcome to another installment of the Saturday Showdown.
Saturday Showdown Season 2.
We are back in this thing. Season 2. Season dos.
Season dos, bitches. What's up?
And we're coming with another conference preview. So on this glorious Tuesday is when you'll be getting these podcasts. You'll be getting 2 podcasts, not 1, but 2. So when you're finished with one, you can jump into the other.
Just
and
jump
you can
right
look
in.
forward to that all week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you will be getting strictly 2 podcasts to finish out the conference previews. And then on Friday, you will wake up to a week 0 preview. That is right.
Yes, sir.
We are there.
Yes, sir.
We are here. The time is amongst us. It is the most wonderful time of the year. Almost the most wonderful time of the year. And I ain't speaking about Christmas. I'm not talking Christmas. I'm not talking Kris Kringle. I'm not talking the guy in the red suit that's coming down the chimney trying to eat up all the cookies and shit. Pause. Who decided that Santa gets cookies and milk? Like, why is that his meal of choice? It's the person who decided, like, okay, I should be getting credit. Like, okay, I ain't gonna take the credit. I want to play a little fun game with the kids. I'm gonna create Santa Claus. I want milk and cookies though, so I'm gonna say he liked milk and cookies. Obviously, that's what happened here, right?
Yeah.
Somebody just liked milk and cookies, and they decided to pass it off for the Caucasian male with the beard and the red suit. I don't like how they did, my boy. I don't like how they did. But you know what's crazy? Nobody ever talks about how Santa low key, he kind of got like some Batman shit going on, because not only is he like, first off, he's fat, but he can climb up and down a chimney without like really being, and he can creep around your house. And if you see him, you remember when they say he hit you with some salt in the eye? You remember that? Or my trip?
Nah, I've never heard that one before.
I swear they used to be like, Santa hit you with some salt in the eye. Maybe I'm tripping. Santa just doused you with the, he hits you with the kosher salt right in the eye. Pah! Take your ass back to sleep. Pah! You ever seen some people shoot like that in beer pong? I can shoot like that. He just hit you like.
I'm just a. And sometimes if I'm drunk, it's a jumper, dude. But like that thing flowing through the fingers, that's just kind of tough. Let's see. I'll put that bitch right here. I'll
be like.
But I think if anything, I'm throwing something, it's gonna be like this, man.
Yes, usually. It's all about that.
Nah, I've never. Nah, the last time I played beer pong, I had a behind the back celeb shop.
I can't tell you the last time I played, but I know for my cousin Steele's like diaper party. Like, you know how the women have
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? The guy has the diaper party. We had like a cookout in his backyard, and we did 1v1 beer pong, and I went 9 straight games. I watched everybody that was there at least twice. I went to triple overtime with people. Came back like, I try to tell people like, I'm not one to play with when it comes to beer pong. Like, I be shooting that thing. Like, I really be currying that thing. But let's get to it. You see how quick I pull up? Just let's get right into it, man. We're not gonna waste any time here. This is a special podcast for us, man. It's one of the last 2 of the, I guess, G5 podcast, and we're talking the new, because they do have some new members, the new Sun Belt Conference. You know, for those of you who don't know, the Sun Belt is the fun belt because it's full of fun, obviously. full of wacky stuff. These teams score points, man. You get some weird stuff out of these games. You get some upsets. And some of these teams, they go on to scare bigger teams. They go on to upset bigger teams. When you look at
You
this
can't sleep on
conference,
any
though,
of these guys.
you got to start. You can't. You can't really. When I was cycling through this conference, I was like, you know what? Unlike most conferences, this conference is a lot of good and a lot of decent. It ain't like where it's a top and a bottom. There's not much mid. This has a lot of mid level teams. And for the most part, this conference, most of these teams are going to finish with winning records and not at 6 wins.
Yeah,
it's sort of be competitive. And obviously it's split into the West and the East. But, we're not doing that. We're going by the teams with the best odds to win the conference. And we're going to start no further than the Troy Trojans, the men of Troy. They're plus 300 to win the conference, minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under. When you look at net tarp, they're plus 3.5. 3 of that is on offense. The other 0.5 is on defense. They finished 18th in total defense. They were 8th in the scoring defense last year. Their DC's gone, and they only allow 17.1 points per game. So you got to definitely keep an eye out for that and see if they can keep that continuity going with the new defensive coordinator. They had 2 all-conference offensive linemen and one of their wide receivers that he was their most productive receiver. He is gone. But they do return the quarterback and the running back. The problem is the quarterback had a 14 to 12 touchdown to interception ratio. So
yikes!
Cool, you're coming back.
Massive need of improvement.
That's like C-team quarterback numbers: 14 touchdowns, 12 picks. It's like a C-team quarterback.
Ain't good.
Need a little bit more, especially if your defense is primed to take a slight step back. So, how do you see this about the men of Troy? I like Troy. They return a lot on defense. Gotta hope you can perform at that same level. Defense is kind of sticky. You kind of know what you're getting with Troy. This is kind of their calling card, period. So I'm willing to bet on their defense being good, but you gotta get improved play from the quarterback position. It is imperative.
No, you're 100%. I mean, this is a top 10 defense from last year, like in the country, top 10, 8
in the country.
To be technical about it, this is the defending champion of the conference,
of the Fun Belt,
winner of a bowl game of one of our favorites, UTSA. 7 returning on offense. I think, with that quarterback coming back, senior class, who knows? Only way up. Only way to go is up. But not only running back do they return both starting wide receivers. That's great news. And the tight end. So big production coming back. And 6 on defense is what I got. I think my number's wrong. But, I mean, you bring back any little bit of the top 10 ranked defense in the country, you're gonna have success. You're expected to have success with players coming back like that. I don't know. I'm thinking like 9 to 10 win season again. Why not? Why not? And a potential trip right back to the conference championship, and hey, maybe a better bowl. Who knows? There's not that giant team on the schedule. They had Ole Miss opening up last year. They go at Kansas State, but I don't know. Not too many hiccups on the schedule, man. I expect them to have a good year, man. Big time.
I'm right there with you. I'm 100% right there with you. You gotta hope the quarterback just takes a step forward with all the returning production he has around him. A slight bump in the quarterback department is good enough to get this team over the win total. So I'm right there with you, Chip. Let's move along to the other team that is second in this conference to win it, and that is the South Alabama Jaguars. Plus 330 to win the conference. All these numbers come courtesy of FanDuel, by the way.
Hey.
No. That is incorrect.
Oh.
They come courtesy of the MGM Bet MGM. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Their win total is 7.5, minus 172 to the over, plus 140 to the under. 95% of their line starts. That's how much they return on the O line. They went 10-3 last year, 7-1 in the conference. 10 returning defensive starters. They are positive 8 in TARP, 4.5 to the offense, 3.5 to the defense. They go at Tulane. They're at OK State. They at Troy. They at James Madison. Kane, Womack. Come on now. The coach's name is Kane Womack. Like, that's an incredible name. And they returned their quarterback. They threw for 3,000 yards and 28 touchdowns last year. Turned the running back. They return a little bit of receiver talent. What is there not to like about these South Alabama Jaguars?
I think it's the schedule, man. It's definitely the schedule, man, because I was looking at their win total. I was like, dude, yikes, man. Yeah, they won 10 games last year, but I don't think they're going to sniff 10 games, dude. To be honest, they're just their road schedule and, like, their big, what is it called? The non-conference schedule. It's way too big for them, man, in my opinion. And then you have at Troy. And then what was the other one that I had?
At James Madison?
Yeah, James Madison. That one's going to be tough. Central Michigan at home could be tough. I don't know, man. That's
not going to be a cakewalk. That's not going to be a cake.
No, I got
those
the
games
Blues
are that spaced out. Too. They're at OK State dude. And they're at Tulane, right?
That's 14 days. It's exactly 2 weeks apart.
How are their first 4 games? What are their first 4 games? Do you have that on hand?
At Tulane. And then SE Louisiana, loss. Southeast Louisiana, which
that's like an FCS school.
Might as well be the fucking Mud Dogs at that point.
Yeah, fucking Bourbon Dogs. And then
at Oklahoma State, and then Central Michigan at home, and then at James Madison.
So your first 5 games are you could be 1-4 or you could be 3-2. Like, and that's a big toss up for a team with a schedule like this.
Difference. It's way too big of a difference.
If you want to take them to win the conference, I just don't see the value in it when you're getting plus 300 for Troy and plus 330 for South Alabama.
If you want to do that shit, you're also.
I'd much rather take Troy. I'd much rather just bet Troy at that point. You know what I'm saying? They're plus 330 and Troy's plus 300. I'd rather just bet Troy. So
I do like
as far as the win total.
South Alabama, they got 8 on offense, 8 on defense, dude. Like, they're kind of stacked if you think about it, but it's just whoever put their schedule together is like
they had something out for them. They had something out for them, clearly.
No, and then this was the number 3 in the entire country rush defense. And then you're bringing back, let's see, 3. Let's see. You're bringing back 6 of, like, the front 7. It's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Who knows? Maybe they may be able to pull off an upset. Maybe.
So,
Tulane upset week 1 at Tulane. I don't know. It's a little bit too big.
If it's 7.5, I'll take the 8. I'll say fuck it. I'll take 8. If it's 8, no way.
What do I have? I got 7.
There's no bet for me on this one. How about that? There's no lean for me. Do what you want. It's your money. I'm just playing.
We're at 7 right now, dude.
It's just too tough of a road schedule for me to just buy in. I'll stay away. I'll say stay away because I want to say the over because this team's really good, but you have to be flawless in every game outside of those 4 games we mentioned. So it's just too much. It's just too much for me. Too rich for my blood. I'm sorry. The next team we'll talk about, the Chippewas. I mean, not the Chippewas. I'm sorry. Total disrespect. The Chanticleers. That's so disrespectful. I'm sorry, Coastal. To the Triple C Dynasty we go. The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Favorite to win the East at plus 550. You know what there's to talk about? The fact that they got Grayson McCall back. Tim Beck, you should be
talk about a
ecstatic.
6-year quarterback. I mean,
one of the most efficient quarterbacks to ever play college football.
This guy played head to head versus who's the buddy in the Jets? Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
3-year man in New York.
Outplayed Zach Wilson that game. That was the game I was like, listen, I already didn't think this guy was as good as everybody make it out to be, but definitely not now because Coastal was on his ass. 9-4 overall, 6-2 in the conference. 60% of their line starts return. The win total is 8. It is minus 122 to the over, plus 100 to the under. They have a new offensive coordinator. They returned their top 3 receivers. Their running back, of course, we listed Grayson McCall. In TARP, they're minus 3 on defense, but they're plus 4.5 on offense, so that nets them positive 1.5. The problem is this defense has to find a way to improve. They lost their best pass rusher, Josiah Stewart, to the University of Michigan. Let's go blue. So they have to do something about that. They weren't too bad against the run last year, but they allowed 6.5 yards per play,
decent.
and they allowed 31 points per game. Chip, they have got to figure it out on defense because the offense will be good. The offense will be good. We know that. You can't be trotting out the 101 ranked defense, though. You can't.
Especially for Coastal. I mean,
can we
get that
in the 60 range?
Yeah, hey, who knows? But I'm going to tell you what right now, man. They fucked Coastal over, what was it, 2 years ago that they were, like, really good? Was it 2 years ago that they were really good or 3 years? That's what them last
like
2-3 years where they went to some bullshit bowl when they should have been in a New Year's Day 6 bowl. Do you remember that shit?
Mm-hmm.
They were like 12-0 or 12-0, 11-1, something like that. And they deserved to be in a better bowl game. I had a buddy, Robert Monroe. He was a wide receiver on that football team. He might have been a second, third string. He was an underclassman. And I'll never forget, they won that bowl game. Like, good for them, you know. But, like, they definitely – I remember once they secured the bowl bid, I texted him immediately. I was like, man, y'all just got fucked over. He's like, I know, we're all pissed. We're all pissed. And they went out and won that fucking bowl game. But I just hate it, man. I just hate it. Because
that's why they do those schools.
Coastal Carolina, man. That would have been fucking nuts, dude. The teal field? Come on, man.
Respect it.
Come on. I like them a lot.
I'm going over the win total of 8. I'm going over the win total of 8. They got Grayson McCall. That's all I got to say. That ain't too much to talk about when it comes to that. You got one of the best quarterbacks to ever walk in college football. I hope you guys have taken notice. Go look at his numbers. Go look at the efficiency numbers. Just go look. I'm telling you, this team has won pretty much double-digit games since he's got there, and they're always competing for a conference championship. It's because of that guy. Even though they lost their head coach, you know, he had a unique offense. They'll be fine. The next team we're going to talk about, they're plus 650 to win the conference, is We Are Marshall. 70% of their line starts return. 9-4 last year, 5-3. Remember they upset Notre Dame. Just a masterful defensive showing. They're minus 3 in net TARP, minus 1 on offense, minus 2 on defense. Charles Huff, he has a new defensive coordinator on his staff. They only returned 3 guys on that defense, and that defense was pretty good last year. They brought in 15 transfers to help on that side of the ball. With this team's going to lean on their All-American running back. The problem is they play at South Alabama, they play Coastal, and they're at App State. That's probably the biggest problem with their schedule. This team won 9 games last year. I didn't even know that.
NC State. There we go, at NC State first week October. That's a loss. I mean, in my opinion, that's a loss for sure.
I don't have their win total down here. Shit. Of course I can look it up. I'm sorry. I'm so
Let's
that's
see.
just so terrible.
They play Virginia Tech at home too. That's a loss. Old Dominion's a
No,
win.
that's a toss up. I ain't even gonna lie.
You don't? You think?
Yeah. I mean, what
Wait
has
a minute.
Virginia Tech
That's at
showed us?
home. Virginia Tech at home. Yeah. Does say
What have
home
they
on the
showed
road? I
us?
can't remember. James Madison, Georgia Southern. I really like Georgia Southern a lot.
What have
Myrtle Beach
what
Bowl
has
champion.
Virginia Tech showed us to make us think that they should be favored against Marshall? I mean,
Well, not a damn thing,
Virginia
honestly.
Tech's been a laughing stock lately.
But
Their total is 7.5. You can get that for plus money, depending on where you go. But where I got it, it is plus 125.
not the worst odds I've ever heard.
So I'm inclined to take the under. They
I'll say
play
the under.
Coastal. Well, no. I mean, I'm going to take the under. The defense lost too much. They played three
Yeah, I
teams
was
in their conference.
just
I don't
about
think
to
they're better
hammer
than
the defense. They only bring
in
back
North
4
Carolina State.
starters.
They
See,
bring back
I
4
can't
starters
jump
on
on board
defense.
that. New defense coordinator.
We're talking about a top 10 defense last year in the country.
They did bring in
6th
15
scoring.
transfers.
Yeah,
But you still got to banking. But you still banking on a lot of new blood being integrated into the system. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if that coaching
always
staff
tough.
is in line, then you should be all right.
New defensive coordinator. That's the problem. I'm sticking.
Where did this one go? Do you know?
The defensive coordinator.
He may have got
I'm not sure.
A promotion. That'd be interesting to figure out.
I had to look it up. You pull your phone up, and I'm gonna transition us into App State.
Go for it.
Plus 850. Pulling up a huge upset early in the season at Texas A&M. 6-6 last year, 3-5 in the conference. Really a down year for this team. -10 in TARP, -7 on offense, -3 on defense. Losing quarterback Chase Bryce and a gang of other guys. They return 100% of their line starts. 6-5 is the win total. -132 to the over, plus 168 to the under. They had a 7-year bowl streak, man. Sean Clark, I know he wants to get that back, man. I know he wants to get that back. They have a quarterback battle going along between Joey Aguilar and Ryan Berger. I can't imagine starting a dude named Berger. It's my quarterback.
I got the Aguilar
rushers back.
Starting.
Yeah, he's probably going to start because if you're starting Berger, then that shit's going to be bad. They have a new offense coordinator. They have a new defense coordinator. They only have 3 returning starters on that side of the ball. There is reason for optimism for this team because they only lost 5 games by 1 score last year. But when I look at the TARP rating and I look at all the change that has went on this offseason, I think they finish another year with 6 wins. They were 6-6 last year. I think they're looking at that again just because they already have a quarterback battle, a new defense coordinator, a new offense coordinator. They are returning everything on defense pretty much. Same with the offense. They have returned the offensive line, but you got inexperience at quarterback, weapons. They're going to lean on that run game.
What a great what-if season last year. I mean, seriously. You take North Carolina 63-61 last year. You just ultimately give up that onside kick. I mean, I think that whole team just nobody went for the ball on that last onside kick, man. Everybody just went to demolish everyone on that front line and then just grabbed it, took it to the house. I don't know, man. Then you lose by 4 to James Madison. Then you lose 1 score to Coastal, and you lose 1 score to Marshall, and then
3 points to Georgia Southern. I mean, what if, dude? These boys did not go bowling last year either, dude. I just would have.
7-year bowl streak snap.
And they won 6 games.
Pride. It's a prideful university. I'm looking at it. I want to say over. I want to believe Sean Clark is going to get this team back to a bowl. What they schedule look like?
I got Gardner-Webb at home. Then you go at North Carolina to potentially avenge, but there's no way. Then you host East Carolina. Then you're going on the road at Wyoming and at Louisiana, Monroe. Then you got Coastal Carolina at home, at Old Dominion, Southern Miss at home, Marshall at home. And then you go at Georgia State, at James Madison, and Georgia Southern at home. Man, that's tough. It's tough down the stretch.
He got a very winnable schedule. They could get 7 games. But it's too much to bank on it. I'll pass. Pass. I would not be surprised if they go over. I'll say that. But I'm going to pass.
For my buddy James Seward, happy birthday, brother. I love you. He went to App State. I hope they can get that win total. I hope they will.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. If I had to lean, I'd say over. I think they will. Actually, think they will, but we'll see. Let's talk about ULL, the Raging Cajuns.
The Raging Cajuns.
The Raging Cajuns.
This was the only team that had always played in the New Orleans Bowl.
They said
their only bowl in history is the New Orleans Bowl.
They say we here. Every year we here.
Every year.
Up here.
We are here every
we ain't got to watch. We know we pulling up at loop. We pulling up downhill.
Oh, that's funny.
They are plus 1,000 to win the conference. Michael Degermo. I don't know how to say that coach's last name.
I think Degermo.
We're going to call him Mikey D. Mikey D's Raging Cajuns are -1 in TART. It's mostly to the defense. They're -1.5. So they're, positive 0.5 on offense. The win total is 7.5. It is plus 104 to the over, -128 to the under. This was their first losing season since 2017, last year.
That's great. That's great. Not great, but that's good consistency.
They have 2 returning starters on defense. And they have a quarterback battle between Chandler Fields and Ben Wardridge. I didn't really write anything else to my notes because as I looked, I was like, I am out on this team completely. They will have their second losing season since 2017. I will be taking the under on their win total.
Give it to me, bro. Give it to me, dude. We're going to drive to Cherokee tonight, and we're going to put it down. Give me the under.
Yes.
For the win total for the Raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajuns. I got a team right here we're going to talk about, and you can probably take this one to the bank, 2 to the under, but I might stay away just because it's at 6. We're talking about the Georgia Southern Eagles.
I got a buddy that played on this team from 12 to 14, I think.
Was he a part of that team that ran on Nick Saban like that? That game where they gave him like 300 rushing yards to Georgia Southern? He was pissed.
I don't remember. He played D tackle. His name was David Smith. Okay. He had a brother. That played. God, what was his brother's name? His brother was a great offensive lineman for Clemson. His name was something Smith. I can't remember. But, buddy I went to high school with. No, excuse me. Lord God. Middle school and was it Jesus? Grade school, somewhere around there. We just kind of stayed in contact. Stayed in contact. One of them schools.
One of them schools, fool.
So shouts out to the alumni.
Shouts out to that guy.
Yeah.
Shouts out to him. Unfortunately, they're plus 1,500 to win the conference. The win total 6. That's plus 118 to the over, minus 148 to the under. They're -9 in net tart, -6 to the on the offensive side of the ball, and -3 on the defense. So Clay Helton has his work cut out for him. They have 4 O-line starters and a running back. I think those guys all departed, right? They have 41% of their line starts coming back. They have look. These notes, I just wrote a lot down. Oh yeah, the quarterback left too. He hit the transfer portal. This is what I wrote down, and I'm just telling y'all right here, right now. This is why I'm totally on the under. Listen up. Volume up at the 30-minute and 40-second mark. They lost 4 O-linemen, the running back, and the quarterback. They were the 128th ranked total defense. There's only 131 teams. They had 26 turnovers. Probably the worst
defense in the country.
26 turnovers.
They're tied
3 starters.
100th
return on defense. 230 rush yards per game. They gave up 32 points per game. They got a new quarterback coming in from Tulsa. And they returned 2 receivers. I just told you this was a bottom 3 defense last year. And they returned only 3 players from that defense. And they gave up 230 rushing yards. And you're going to tell me, but y'all always say there's no place to go but up. Except for this team. They can go further. They can go further down. Trust me, I'm hammering the under. I'm hammering the under all day long. This team can go further down. Trust me. We haven't seen the depths of this bottom yet. We have not. We've not seen the depths of this bottom. Give me the under.
I'm just going to have to jump on I'm going to have to piggyback you on this one. Give me the under. I'm sorry, my brother.
We're sorry.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry, but this team is sorry.
You're long gone, man. You have nothing to do with this.
Southern Miss. We should just call this Southern Miss Frank Gore Jr.'s because he's missed everything for this team. At least he was last year. With all the injuries they had.
Gore Jr. He said, Grandma, chill out.
You saw that? I know you've seen Friday Night Lights before, right?
Oh, yeah.
You seen Friday Night Lights? You know when he was like, he was like, what did he say? He can run, he can catch, and he can throw. And then what his uncle said too.
He can throw it.
That's Frank Gore Jr. That's Frank Gore Jr. That boy can pass. The boy can do everything.
He's
Was his dad trying to do the same as like LeBron, like trying to stay in the league long enough to play with his son? Because Frank Gore probably hasn't officially retired.
I don't know, but he could have. I mean, he could probably
his
still be
legs gotta feel like shit. His legs gotta feel like shit. They got to. Like, I need to know his training regimen, what he does in the off season and what he does to recover for games. Because I just did legs yesterday in the gym, and my legs hurt today, but I know tomorrow they're gonna hurt like a motherfucker. Can't imagine what his old ass feel like. He's had like 3 ACL surgeries, 3 knee surgeries. There's no way. I'm sorry, y'all. The verge.
He was solid no matter where he played. He was solid. He actually played running back vision. He actually played on that Miami team.
The legendary Miami team. That's where he hurt his knee.
Let's see. Let me get this math right, because Clemson, in 2004, we beat Miami in Miami with a beautiful running back named Reggie Merriweather. We just ran that boy all night long, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like 90% sure Frank Gore was the Miami running back. I'm like almost positive. And the thing that made it like so crazy is that we beat Miami, who back in 2004 was unbelievable, right? Yeah, he was on there to 2000.
He was 01 to 04, so he was on that team. He was a senior on that team. We beat Miami, the big bad Hurricanes, 2004 Miami Hurricanes. We beat them in Miami, and then we lose to Duke the next week. Lose to Duke the next week. Oh man, could you imagine? That year we started. Oh my god, it really wasn't that we were mad, dude. It was unbelievable. That team, that Duke game was not televised. I remember watching it at my late grandmother's house, and actually not watching it, listening to it on a radio station because it wasn't on TV back in the day. In Clemson, we were not a big market team at the time. We beat Miami. Then we go at Duke, and then they beat us by a field goal. And I just remember hearing, down goes Clemson. And we're just, me and my dad's like, really? And then I just remember all year long, dude, I couldn't brag about that fucking win because we lost to Duke the next week, dude. Literally, everybody like, man, Clemson sucks. And I'm like, man, we beat Miami. Bitch. I'm like, yeah, but y'all lost to Duke, fucker. I'm like, fuck. You got me.
You're right.
I can't say shit, man.
Fucking
shit was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Sorry for the flash.
Aren't you glad to be out of those tough times? Aren't you glad to be out of those tough times? Dude. All right, George. We're done with you, Georgia Southern. We're moving. Oh, we're talking about Southern Miss. I'm sorry, guys. If the win total's 5, it's plus 118 to the over, minus 115 to the under. Will Hall, their TARP is +1, it's +2 on offense, minus 1 on defense. They brought in a new DC. The whole D line returns, which is good because they're pretty good against the run. Do you know about this Billy Wiles guy? He transferred from Clemson to come try to play quarterback.
Billy Wiles,
6 defensive starters. I thought maybe it rang the bell for you.
Billy Wiles, no, he ain't got it. He never had a chance.
Fine. The important part about this team is this: Frank Gore Jr. is back, and if they can't find anyone to sling the pill, they can't find anyone to play quarterback at an adequate rate, then it won't matter what Frank Gore Jr. does, because then they'll have to play his ass at quarterback again like they did last year.
No, seriously, because that dude, I don't remember that guy at all, bro. Because, I mean, that dude must have been 4th or 5th string, because you had DJ last year, you had Cade, then you had Hunter Helms, then you had a Bubba Chandler. So I don't know who the fuck Billy Wiles is. Good luck to you, brother. You got to stop.
Hopefully you put his name on the map by playing fucking quarterback at a competent rate.
I'm going to do him justice, man. I'm going to look him up because I've just never heard of that dude. Excuse me.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna take the over just based off the fact that they have to have somebody play quarterback this year to at least be adequate to give Frank Gore Jr. the ball and throw him something out the backfield. You know what I'm saying? I'll take the over. Yeah. It's plus money.
Okay, now that I'm looking at his face, I may have seen this dude once, but we're talking. Okay, he was on that Cheez-It Bowl team. Okay, yeah, number 17. Yeah, Buddy must have been 4th or 5th string, bro. There ain't no way.
Okay.
I think that's hilarious. They put that Clemson in there. They got Clemson in parentheses.
Hey, man. Transferred in. He wanted us to know. Give a little hope. It gives me hope.
I was at Clemson.
It gives me hope. Yeah, it gives me hope that somebody can be decent enough to keep that fucking file Frank Gore's ass, man. I'm going over.
Hopefully.
I'm going over 5. Frank Gore, get you 5 wins. Can the quarterback win him another?
He's draft eligible next year. Do you think he'll leave?
He better not.
That would be crazy.
He better keep.
You think he should
give the ball to Frank Gore Jr.? Who, Frank Gore Jr.?
Yeah, why not?
No. He should. He should leave. He should leave. No, he should probably leave after this year for real.
Okay.
Go off this year and come out.
Top 10 running back coming up?
It depends what his testing scores look like. He got the pedigree, though, man. I feel like he's just going to be good regardless.
Because Blake Corum, he the top. I would say he's probably top dog in the running back
I can't wait to see you.
department
Can't
in
wait
the
to see him.
country.
Can't wait to see him, boy.
Dude, you can't sleep on Will Shipley though either, dude. I don't know. Running back, he should be coming up this year too. I hope he does. It's a good
year for running backs.
But,
I hope he does.
Come to the Titans.
We're mine in Tennessee.
What a top running back set. Come on.
We're mine in Tennessee. Georgia State. This is a team that's interesting in the fact that their win total so low. Okay, let's talk about it. Georgia State, right? They're plus 2,600 to win the conference. They went 4-8 last year. They were 3-5 in the conference. They're 5.5 is their win total, plus 138 to the over, minus 170 to the under. Their TARP is minus 3.5 net TARP, plus 1.5 on offense and minus 5 on defense. They return 38% of their line starts. Sean Elliott has his work cut out for him. They get Darren Granger back at quarterback, but they only have one offensive line starter back. 5 losses by 1 score last year. They have a new defensive coordinator. They have a good linebacking core, but their defense was the worst defense in the conference last year by far. You minus 5 in TARP on defense coming in. You don't get any better on defense. And your offensive line isn't good. And your win total is 5.5. That's why I said I'll take the over on Southern Miss. Because of teams like this. I'll take the under on Georgia State. It's just that simple. You have a bad defense and you have a new offensive line. That is a recipe for having to figure things out. No matter who you have at quarterback. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, this... They had a tough schedule last year, too. I'm looking at 2-5 in their first
They were 4-8 last year.
Yeah.
And they're probably worse than they were last year.
Yeah. I don't like it. I just don't like it. They brought in a new guy. They brought in a new wide receiver, Jakari Carter from Merrimack College. I like that. That college is used in the Key and Peele skit, the one where they do the college all-stars. Have you seen them skits?
I don't think I have.
Them East West. Are you out of your fucking mind? Oh my god, you'll cry. I'm gonna send you that shit tonight, dude. There's like 4 of them. It's a Key and Peele skit that basically they hire these random. They're like in an East West, like a college bowl. What is it called? Like the what is it called? Not the Shrine Bowl.
They have the East West, and they have the Shrine.
It's like an East West college bullshit. Anyways, they dress up like I'm talking about makeup and like wigs and different beard pieces on, and they pose as like different star players. My favorite one they did was, dude, I swear to God, on NCAA football, I will watch a video and I'll pick like the funniest name in decent college, or I'll find a decent college and find a funny ass name, and I'll like, yo, that's my guy. They did Jack Marius Tactheratrix, quarterback, Michigan State. I won 4 straight Heismans with him, puppy. I'm telling you right now, dude. I'm telling you, 10,000 passing yards, 6,000 rushing yards, 4 straight Heismans, 1 natty, but 4 straight bowl wins. 4 straight bowl wins, dude. Like, come on, bro. Jack Marius Tactheratrix. That's one of the greatest names they ever came up with. And I'm trying to remember the Merrimack College, dude. I don't remember what it was, but it's Merrimack College. You when I send it to you, you're gonna watch it like, oh, that's what he's talking about. You're gonna fucking cry laughing, dude. You have to. If you like college football, you know who Key and Peele is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you You're going to have a good time.
I'm going to check it out.
But give us the under on Georgia State.
I like how you brought it back with that. Like, don't forget, like, we're under on your ass. Like, we're down on your ass. You thought you was escaping that Georgia State, didn't you?
It's on a funny note, and I was like, let me add this to the podcast.
Georgia State thought they was escaping that.
Never even.
He's like, maybe I'll escape that judgment. Maybe I won't get Chip's judgment. Yes, you will.
Oh my.
Texas State, man. This team is crazy because, like, TJ Finley transferred here. They have Malik Hornsby also. But this is what makes this team very interesting. Fuck everything else. They brought in basically everything new. They have new wide receiver transfers, new offensive line transfers. They even got a guy from Oklahoma. They returned only 3 people on defense. Their win total is 4.5, plus 128 to the over, minus 158 to the under. Here is where I tell you to stop the podcast at the 45 minute and 50 seconds mark, and I tell you something like this. This team is interesting because you're going to have a chance to catch the market possibly before they adjust. This team's going to score points. They brought in G.J. Khan. He was at an FCS school before this. A school where their quarterback threw 71 touchdowns and they average 51 points per game. They go fast. They go really fast, and they're really explosive, and they're going to go for it on fourth downs. And this team is bad. They're -10 in TARP, -5.5 on offense, -4.5 on defense, and they brought in a ton of transfers. So what I'm telling you is you're going to have opportunities to bet overs at halves, overs at quarters, over team totals, over in the game for this team before it properly adjusts. And you might be able to try to catch them on a spread early before they adjust. I'm not saying this team is going to go over their 4.5 win total. I'm telling you, you might have an opportunity to make money off this team early in the season. As far as the win total goes, I'm staying the fuck away from it because I don't trust it. You got a new guy coming in with this new offense. We want to see how it adjusts. We got all these transfers coming in. I don't like the recipe. It's diarrhea shit. It's diarrhea soup, and I'm staying away from it. I'm not touching 4.5. I'm not touching 4.5.
That was such a cold take. Hot take, excuse me. That I'm going to let you ride with that one. They don't have enough for me. They got one returning starter? Fuck no.
If they let TJ Finley play quarterback, I'm on the under. If TJ Finley plays quarterback, I'm on the under. I've watched TJ Finley play quarterback.
Yeah.
If TJ Finley is playing quarterback, I'm on the under. That's the only definitive statement I'll make. I'm not a fan of his.
Yeah, no.
But let's talk about Old Dominion. They're plus 450.
To say, that could be the worst team in the conference.
Old Dominion?
No, I was saying Texas State. They got one of the. I just don't. Keep going. Old Dominion.
It could be. It totally could be. Their win total is 4, and it's -110 both ways. 3-9 last year, 2-6 in the conference. They're -8.5 in TARP, but all that's on offense is -7. 43% of their line starts. They lost 5 starters to the transfer portal. They have a new offensive coordinator. They only returned 3 starters on defense. They were 117th in total defense, so a bottom 15 defense. They have a new quarterback that just transferred in. The problem is this team was atrocious on offense last year, and they have a tough schedule, probably the toughest schedule in the conference, and they only averaged 19.5 points last year on offense. So you're telling me a team who was god-awful last year on offense couldn't produce 3 touchdowns a game in college football where the fucking first down stops the clock, and they get a worse schedule with 3 returning starters on defense and all their offensive linemen. I mean, they lost 5 starters to the transfer portal, a new offensive coordinator. Give me the damn under 4-4. They're not winning 4 fucking games. I'll take the under.
Excuse me. I'll take the under as well. Just horrible defense. They lost their last 6 games. They lost their last 6 games last year. That's just horrible, man. That's just awful.
Look at their schedule. Just look at their schedule real quick. Look how tough their schedule is.
Average Virginia Tech, Louisiana, Wake Forest, Texas A&M Commerce.
It might win that game. So let's put 1-0.
At Marshall. Then you got at Southern Miss. You got Appalachian State. I think that's an L. You got at James Madison. I think that's an L. You got Coastal Carolina. I think that's an L. At Liberty. Yeah. At Georgia Southern. Maybe a win. Maybe a win. Maybe a loss. And then you got Georgia State, which that might be a win too. I don't know. I don't know. Give me the under. Come on.
Yeah, they got 2 possible wins on the schedule from what I heard. Arkansas State.
That's our last team, isn't it?
No, we have 2 more teams. One team can't even go to the conference, so we'll be brief on James Madison at the end. We'll be real brief for these last 3.
Okay.
We'll be starting with Arkansas State. They're plus 5,000 to win the conference. They were 3-9 last year, 1-7 in the conference. -3 on target, -2.5 on offense, -0.5 on defense. 51% of their line starts return. This Butch Jones, I don't like his head. JT Shrout is transferring in to play quarterback. I don't like the way his head shaped. 3 wide receivers are transferring in, but here's the problem. Let's just get straight to it. They returned 5 starters on defense. They gave up 31 points per game on defense. They were the 127th ranked pass defense, bottom 5, and they gave up over 405 yards per game. You can't win games if you're giving up 405 yards total and you have an atrocious pass defense. You do return 5 starters on the defense, but you only have 7 total starters overall. 4.5. A lot of people have been banging this over. I am inclined to say I'm staying the fuck away from this game. I'm staying away from this one. If I had to bet,
what's the number?
It's 4.5. Do I think they can win 5 games? Run the schedule down for me real quick.
All right. I don't know. I like it. All right. We got at Oklahoma. We already know the result. And you got Memphis. Should know the result.
They're losing to Memphis too.
Stony Brook. I think that'll be their first win. And you're gonna lose to Southern Miss, I think. So 1-3. Then you go at Massachusetts. I'll say 2-3. Then you go at Troy, 2-4. Coastal Carolina, 2-5. At Louisiana Monroe. I think I have them as a W. So what is that? 3-5. Then they go Louisiana. That's an L. So 3-6. Then you got at South Alabama. That one's an asterisk. I have no idea. It could possibly lose. 3-7.
They're gonna get their ass whooped by South Alabama.
Texas State. They could win. So that could be, what is that? Is that 3 wins yet?
No, they're gonna lose to Texas State. That's a bad combination.
Think so?
That fucking offense is gonna put up points.
And then at Marshall, loss, in my opinion.
Yep, 3 wins. I'll take none. I'll jump on it. I'll jump on it. But plus Butch Jones' head, so downgrade him for that.
I actually didn't
downgrade him for Butch Jones' head. UL Monroe, right? That's the last team that's eligible to win the conference, plus 11,000. So we're not going to spend much time talking about Terry Bowden's UL Monroe Redhawks. I don't even know why I called them Redhawks. That's not their name. The win total is 3.5 is plus 138 to the over. I knew it was the Hawks. I don't know why I said Redhawks.
Man. Once you get down to these low level conferences, man, the names, the Red Wolves, the Warhawks, it's crazy.
4-8 last year, 3-5 in the conference. -2 in TARP, -7 on offense, +5 on defense. 80% of their line starts. They had 9 players transfer in to help along this defense, but they only returned 3 starters and they gave up 34 points per game. They're also in the middle of a quarterback battle. you and Monroe, with a team like Arkansas State in your conference, if your odds are plus 11,000, there's plus 5,000. I just told you they're going under their win total. What do you think I'm going to tell you about your win total? Give me the under. Give me the fucking under. That's just that simple.
No, 100%.
100%. I just don't see it. I just don't see him getting it done.
They're fucking terrible on offense last year. They were no better than 100th in any statistical category on offense last year. He only returned 4.
And they got a quarterback battle. See who will lead the 115th ranked offense this year. He's going to go from the 100 to the 115th. We'll touch briefly on James Madison. No disrespect. They just don't have odds to win the conference because they're still on probation. So, as we are talking about odds and things like that, we'll just simply talk about this. James Madison, their win total is plus 8. They're minus 8 in TARP, minus 8.5 in TARP. They're minus 7 on offense, minus 1.5 on defense. Kurt Cognetti, you have 4 receivers returning and a couple offensive linemen. No, they have the whole offensive line return.
This team literally has the whole line, literally the entire line coming back, and that is it. So all their skill positions, those are going to be new guys.
I wrote that wrong when I said 4 receivers. I meant to say 4, the whole O-line return.
Yeah, the whole offensive line returns. Mm-hmm. That's like the biggest hope they got.
They returned 6 starters on D. Their defense was good. They just gave it too many explosive plays. But for a win total of 8, I'm staying away.
Yo, how long is their ban right now? Or their sanctions?
I think this is the last year of their sanctions.
So they're eligible for like bowl and conference championships?
Next year. So that's why they
almost got y'all in some shit, didn't they?
Oh, man. Harbaugh got himself in some shit.
Yeah, Harbaugh's in some shit right now. I hate that.
Oh, man, the Ravens' record, their preseason record is broken. The Ravens lost tonight.
Uh-oh.
The Skins. I mean, not the Skins, the Commanders. The Commandos.
Hey, there's like small reports out there that there's a group of like 20,000 people trying to get that shit back to the Redskins.
To the Redskins?
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I was cool with the Washington football team. I was cool with the Washington football team. That was so fire. That shit was so Washington. That shit was so fire.
I don't know. I don't know how I felt about it, honestly.
The Washington football team.
I will give you that. It was very different. That's so fire, man. Keep going.
I'll tell you what. We're moving on to a different podcast. We're going to preview the Conference USA. And we're going to do it a little quicker than this podcast, seeing there's not as many teams. And also, some of these teams are not eligible to even compete in the conference championship either.
Are we going to be able to... Are we going to end this one and then re-enter? Or are we just going to keep going?
We should just stop it and just restart, like starting now. So this is Puffy.
It's a Chip. Hey.
And this is
the Saturday Showdown.
Saturday Showdown.
We're going to be back before you even know it, shouty.
Turn it right around in 3, 2, 1.